here's a secret that many guys don't know, especially in today's day and age, is that women love nice guys. We may not understand how much we love and appreciate them until we're a little older, and we've gotten that sort of asshole phase out of our systems. I'd say by our late 20s, early 30s is the point in our lives when we're just exhausted by the jerks, and we have no time in our lives anymore for them. So we really start looking for men who we know will be great long-term partners, aka nice guys, right? And that's you.
If you're the nice guy that keeps watching the girl you like get attached to toxic men, you might want to listen up. Today, we're talking about why women love toxic men. Whew, I'm gonna need it. Now, the obvious is that we want to change them. Think of that one thing you were never able to achieve in life. And remember how it felt so good when you finally succeeded? That's why. We want the experience of successfully attaining that thing we couldn't get. When something isn't easy to get, we want it more. Next, usually we feel bad for them. It's not so easy to leave them when we become so invested in their story. Usually this story involves some level of loneliness, and we feel like if we leave them, even though they'll run straight to the next girl, at the end of the day, they'll wind up alone. And the thought of that makes us feel guilty. We like the intensity. Healthy relationships don't have those same intense feelings of toxic relationships. There's no peaks and valleys. It's pretty stable. Although there are low lows in a toxic relationship, the dopamine during those highs becomes addicting. We don't feel like we can get anyone else. Usually that feeling becomes more prevalent the longer you're with a toxic guy. You can't imagine yourself starting over. And the thought of being alone is really scary. And that person has convinced us that they're great, and we believe it. Although it's frustrating to watch people you care about wind up in this cycle, if you're a non-toxic guy watching this, there's hope. This cycle doesn't last forever, and I'm an example of that. You eventually hit an exhaustion point of no return. And although there's a lot of healing to be done after the fact, the good guy always wins.
And that there lies the problem. I'm not sure the exact number of females, women, even ladies that may do this, but I really think it's unfair to that guy, that good guy that you eventually pick. Especially when you have a bunch of kids from that bad dude and you are a lot older, you know. And the question is why? Why are you waiting then? I understand now why, you know, because, and not all women do this, but I do believe if they are eight, nines, or tens, they definitely do this. If they think that they are eights, nines, and tens, they will definitely do this because they want to have their fun when they are young. Now, if for some reason they are maybe religious or either just happen to get with a high school sweetheart, they will drop that bomb later. When similar like a Larsa Pippen, when they are unsatisfied with their life all of a sudden because they didn't have that fun with just with just bouncing from guy to guy, having sexual relations, you know. And yes, guys do this too, but usually there are the certain types of guys that do this. That, you know, the Chads or Tyrones, the players that are doing that. And, you know, all of you, well, most of you females will call them F-boys. So, anyway, let's begin. Hey, my friends, welcome to the RP Experience. My brothers and sisters, do me a favor and hit the like button. Give you a second, do that. Subscribe and share and turn on notifications so that you know when I have dropped a new video. Anyway, today's video is going to be about saving the best for last. Why do women, females, sometimes ladies, but usually they're on a different thing, but if they happen to get pulled into the crowd, they may follow this thing as well, you know. Whereas now, okay, on premise, I understand to a degree, because as an attractive woman, you have lots of guys vying for your attention, and because of all those options, you'd be like, hey, let me try that guy. He's really attractive. Let me try that guy. He has some edge to him. Let me try that guy. He has a little money. Let me try him. He's really funny, you know. And like a woman that I met years ago that I did not date or have anything romantic or physical with, you know, me and her just got into a conversation about men and women in relationships. I think this was like in, well, this was before I met my ex-wife, but I think this was in 1999 or something. Anyway, this woman, she had told me that she could not find one guy that could satisfy all the things that she wanted. So she had a different guy for different things. This is no different than what players do, you know, because they have a girl for this, a girl for that. You know, that's why they have like a rotation, because they get something from each and every one. You know, I don't think that's Chad and Tyrone's real strategy, because they are just getting women coming toward them, so they just select whoever happens to pique their interest. So that stuck in my head, and I believe, especially these days, because of internet, online dating, and stuff like that, that lots of women have this same similar thing of, not all, but lots have this same similar thing of like they're a kid in a candy store, you know. Now I blame simps. I blame simps for this because they are like always chasing after them with their tongue out, you know. And unless if it turns deadly into stalking or either something violent or something like that, that female woman will find a way to benefit off of the simp, you know. I mean, and I know plenty of personal examples for me, because, you know, I know a woman that I was with that, you know, she had this guy that was fawning over her, but she was with me, but, you know, he ended up buying her a whole laptop. And I'm not sure how much that laptop probably was, but I have to think it was at least $500 or $600. Now I think he did have a decent amount of money, but still, you know, it's like, wow. Now that's the thing again of why I think like females, they get easy with, okay, my mom will always tell me something like, hey, don't expect nobody to give you nothing for free. Yeah, but I have to think with attractive women, they live in a different universe where they do get things for free. You know, they can get computers, cars, trips, you know, who knows some of the things that some females will get. But anyway, I have a video by Ripcom Fish that's I shared some years ago on a Facebook post. But now I get to add my 2 cents into it. Well, this is somewhat a long video, but however, though, this was I always have like a video that's like my coup de grace, like my ultimate video for the week, and this is definitely it. So anyway, let him take it off.
A good man may be seen as a good guy and therefore finish last. Hear, hear. Good guys can be great men, but in the eyes of some women, they will never be good enough. Until their time has run out and they're nothing more than discarded, leftover women. It is only then that these not good enough good guy men become good enough. The sad thing is, many of these men think they found love, but from many of these women's points of view, they found a sucker, a fool, a man willing to take her on, baggage and all. Baggage and all. Yeah, right. So I have a video today. Why do we pick good guys last? Listen to black women. Yeah, don't listen to black women. Don't listen to any women. But seriously, a video by Madame Noir. I think I've heard of it before. 8K likes to 5.2K dislikes. Who wants to bet most of those dislikes are from men? Yeah, they are. But why do women pick good guys last? Why are good guys not good enough from the beginning? Is it because more women have more choice and option? But in a sense, it makes a lot of them trashy women.
No one cares.
And my last point before we begin, does the more bodies a woman acquire through her adult life, does that lower her value? Does it? Yes, it does. Yes. Yeah, I'm answering the question myself, but yeah. Tell me what you think, but yeah, it does. Well, I hope you're doing well. Hope your week has been good. Week's almost done. Month is almost done. And it's been a strange month already. But this, of course, is Replicant Fish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. The epic sci-fi noir. Yeah, Replicant Fish. Indeed. Let's begin.
Today we are talking about why good guys finish last. I'm Shamika Sanders. Beside me, I have the beautiful Jessie Woo and the fabulous Africa Miranda. Guys, in a recent interview, Sir Slim Thug asserted that Ciara was not happy in her relationship with Russell Wilson because he is a good guy. To use his word, he is a square.
Damn, he's a square. This video is 2 years old. And yes, I do agree with Slim Thug, but I'm just waiting for the Russell Wilson Ciara episode to unfold before I, before I make my videos, yeah. But yes, as we know, after a history of bad boys, road men, street dudes, thugs, whatever the hell you want to call them, trash already, trash! Yeah, many women then want to settle down with a square, an honest, decent man, a good guy, yeah, good God. Run!
Let's get into this quote right here. He wrote this, y'all. This is me.
Yeah. This is his version.
End with quotes. Do a woman used to talk to Future really want a Russell Wilson? He's just a corny dude. He's just like a square.
Damn. Damn, he's just like a square. You see, my point is, many women become accustomed to the men that they date. So if a woman has a history of dating these supposed bad boys, whatever, then any man after that that's different from those men, he has to be a sucker or some kind of fool or cleanup man. He can't be deemed as a decent man. He can deem himself as such because he feels lucky. Yeah, good flipping luck. But let's be honest here. Deep down, many of these women do not respect these men because deep down, many of these women know he may not have got her earlier on in her life. Exactly.
What do you define as a good guy? What does that mean?
I've found, to be very honest, my definition of a good guy has changed over the years. A good guy for me used to mean that he had money, that he had a certain social standing.
What? Pay attention. Did you see how she associated money with him being a good guy? Not who he was as a person, but who he was financially, okay?
And I think that is the difference between men and women right there. Because if you ask a man about what does he consider a good woman, it all starts to come about with character. Now, Now, that's not to take away that looks don't play a part. It's just that nurturing, caring, that type of stuff is always what the guys lead off with. You know, if you ask, see, you have to, like, okay, you as a guy cannot ask a woman this, because they'll kind of lie to you, or they'll tell you what you want to hear. You got to hear women when they get together and talk amongst themselves. That's something I've always been able to be blessed to do. You know, whether I was younger or older, I was always in a room or right amongst them while I just heard them talk. Now, usually this was in like a job related thing, that I'm actually doing something and they don't notice me or something like that, or either I just happen to be in the other room and they talk loud enough that I can overhear them. And that's where you get the honest guy truth of how a lot of females and women think. You know, if it's any ladies amongst them, they just won't say nothing, or either they'll just go along with the crowd. I rarely hear a female go against the grain and say something isn't right or something like that. So truthfully, in one of those rare occasions, I have to lump y'all all in together. That's why I don't always like when a bunch of females get clustered together, because I always see it brings out the negative in most of you, you know. And that's the difference between men and women, is that men generally, like, even though they will follow a leader, you know, but when they can freely talk, you know, and amongst themselves in a conversation like that, they will usually voice their opinion of like, hey, I disagree with this, or either I think that is not the way, or either I think that girl is good, or I think that girl is bad. You know, you won't usually get a 100% group agreement with something most of the time. That goes with anything, even in the RP community. You know, that's why we normally say, like, well, we agree with each other like 80 and 90% of the time, but then, you know, 10%, you know, with a particular guy I don't agree with, or either, well, with some guys, sometimes it's like 40%, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's keep going.
But I found that didn't mean that they were really good people. So now for me, a good guy is someone that is kind, that's a hard worker, that doesn't have serious problems with honesty.
You didn't think that before? You didn't think that before as a grown woman?
Honesty. And that actually is a little square.
Oh. I feel like for me, those qualities now, you can find them anywhere, not just in the church or in school, you know, because I used to associate the good guy with the guy who's in church, the guy who's in the library all the time. But now I feel like you can find you a good guy in the street. What? You know what I'm saying? Some of these street dudes, they be good guys. They'll take care of you.
There you go, good guy in the street. In 2021, many of these women sound outdated. A guy in a library or in the church deemed as a good guy, it sounds quite naive and stupid. That does not deem a man as a good guy. That's actually quite naive. But then again, this woman doesn't look as if she has much to say apart from naive, bullshit, shallow, trash, and superficial points of view. Yeah, it's probably just me.
They be good guys. They'll take care of you. You know, they'll care about you. They'll motivate you. They'll support you.
Yes, some men listening, don't try to be anything more than a street guy because you have women like this attracted to you. Yeah, don't try to be anything more, because if you try to be something more, you may be seen as a square, a boring guy, because you're actually trying to have a better life. Yeah, pay attention, men. Pay attention. Don't listen to these broads.
The popular definition of a good guy is not my definition of a good guy.
All of this leads us to the question of the week. Why do we pick good guys last?
Because your box is all used up and you now need a sucker to fix the box or pretend it's so intact, even after a few babies. I'm just saying.
Okay, ladies, so why don't we just pick the good guy first? Doesn't it seem so simple?
It would actually make sense, but in a modern liberated era, come on, women can have all the reckless fun that they want. Point is, men, don't stop them. Just pay attention Never save them. Let them have the fun. Just don't be the guy cleaning up the mess afterwards.
Who said we don't though? Because a lot of times you'll pick a good guy, but does the good guy want you?
No offense to her, not judging her, but she looks like she likes some kind of rough. She looks like she likes some rough. I'm just saying.
You know, a lot of these good guys, they want the hoe, they want the scammer. The same way we like excitement, they like adventure too.
Okay, I will admit to her point. Yes, sometimes a reckless chick, depending on how good she is and if the sex is good, yeah, sometimes you know she's kind of trash and she's bad for you, but you may enjoy being around her and enjoying the sex. So I understand in that dynamic how some women would live in that dynamic as well, but just continuously for many, many years, knowing that they're bad for them, but just enjoying the company and the sex they get from these men. So yes, vice versa. However, because many of these women bond heavily to these reckless guys, it makes them more difficult to date in the future. And after the end of all those thugs, what decent man, thinking, logical man is actually going to want her?
I see that a lot of times with the good guys, you know what I mean? So a lot of us, we pick the good guys, but does the good guy want the good girl?
I want to make this point here. Women that date thugs and bad boys and these sorts of men, I personally believe these are low-value women. Because if a woman's value through her life is her body, her youth and femininity, and she's wasting it on low-value men that have nothing going for them in their lives, why can they be seen as anything except low-value women? That's probably just me, but let me know what you think, man.
See? And as a man, I can admit this. You know, that's the pilled bad girl or the Instagram model or, you know, because the one thing is they definitely look good. Now, however, though, as I will always say for me, if she's nasty, like she has a mean personality, that automatically just turns me off when a woman has that out of the gate. You know, she has to be mad at me for a reason and not just because I just happen to be a man or something that she just want to take her frustration out on. But I will admit, those women, and I guess it's similar, like what a woman said earlier in a clip about, you know, thinking that she can change that bad guy because she sees some potential in him. And of course, you know, he looks good and she's getting those highs and lows. So I will admit that too, you know. That's how I stayed a little bit in that toxic relationship for so long. And not to say that, you know, I didn't have my toxic traits too, because I know one of my toxic things is if I really get mad at you, I just shut down and don't talk or something. And because now that is a thing called toxic manipulation, you know, and yes, I was doing it as a way to punish that person because, you know, they did hurtful things to me. You know, I didn't want to say things that I can't take back. So I just rather not say nothing. And then also I'm pissed at the person. So, yeah, I understand her point right there. But however, she's assuming that she is a good woman, you know. And I don't know her. I don't know what she does. This is something I wish I knew when I was younger. With some of my past relationships, I could not put this on there because it was a totally different situation. But with most of the women I came across, I could definitely look at who they kept seeming to date, or they kept complaining about the same damn thing. And, you know, either they are totally lying or either their pics are like totally a mess. So what I would say with that is if you as a guy come across a woman that her love life is like a mess and she always seems to pick bad dudes, you have to just leave her there. You know, I understand she looks attractive and y'all have stuff in common. You're still going to try. Okay, good luck. Cross your fingers, but that is her type. And that's the type she's going to go back to eventually. So I'm going to let this video run now because I've been talking a bit and I don't want this going to an hour.
So we're canceling each other out.
Exactly.
I feel like, though, most of us don't, and not even say most, but I feel like some people, and I can definitely put myself in this category because I've been super guilty of it, didn't pick good guys or good men, like, because like we're normalizing trauma. Like we think that to be in love is like exciting and it should be danger. And it's like we think that all of these things are normal.
Exactly. Thank you, woman dressed like a peach. Because many women do this. They have a trauma bond thing where for them, the feeling of love is, be careful, fish, be careful how you say this. It's embedded with a slight hint or maybe a heavy dose of pain. The fact how some women see these relationships as real because of the amount of emotional pain involved in there. A lot of feeling. And what men should understand is how many women associate certain feelings and they would call that love. This sort of thing women realize later on in their life is actually quite stupid. But in the moment, oh, it's too fun in the moment. It's too fun in the moment. The trauma bond experience. That's why if you're a decent, non-reckless man, understand why you may not be able to bond with these women. It's because they're used to bonding with low-value men.
When you meet a nice guy where it's just like it's easy, it's like, oh, well, I don't trust it because I don't know what that is.
Exactly. It's boring. It's boring. Exactly. Men, pay attention. This is why some men understand to have a woman continually chasing you. Always have her in some way pursuing you. Don't tell her everything. Don't give her everything. Don't give her so much access. Always keep her wondering.
Like so much of Black love is about struggle. Like why does our love have to be struggled for it to be like, this is what it's supposed to be exciting and feel good?
Because that's what many women like. It makes them feel something. And many women can relate to other women who are going through the same thing, the same sort of trauma, bond sort of love, hardcore, just reckless love sort of crap. And many men look in on these women and wonder, why won't she let me save her? Because you're not supposed to.
But you said something really good about trauma speaking to trauma.
It can. Like for some of us, and myself included, my first relationships with my father, there was damage there. So that informed a lot of my choices in men. And I think many of us do that. So that's why we want, or we respond to like the negativity or the, the bad guy.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that we are attracted to this badness and we have now associated the bad guy with fun.
Yes. There we go again, men. The correlation with many of these videos. Fun.
Yep.
And we are overlooking the good guy. Okay, so now let's see what the social media streets are saying. Ethereal Kia says, imagine how much more pleasant our communities would be if our women weren't stressed out trying to play both parental roles. Imagine how much happier and peaceful our homes would be if our women could focus on cultivating them from the inside. I hear praises around.
Hello. Hallelujah.
I agree.
A bunch of nonsense. If you're a woman dating street dudes and you expect things to get better, how can things get better? If many women lust these men, and many men know this, many men would not even try to be better because they don't want to be seen as a square. Think of how many men want to avoid so much being seen as a square that they would thug it up as much as possible, even if that's not them. Because they know certain women want it, they would just imitate it, act it, pretend to be it. Yeah? Pay attention, men. Stop lowering your value for trash. Communities can become better when people learn to stop choosing trash.
Praise the Lord. That's the word right there. Imagine.
Someone responded and said it would solve most of the dysfunctions in the Black community, which is what you were talking about, the trauma.
We have to heal because we have to take responsibility for the men that we're choosing. But
Exactly. If you have a lust and thing for bad boys, you have to understand a large percentage of men would just do this, even if they're not that, simply because they know how women like yourselves react to it. Women like yourselves and many, many other women.
take responsibility for the men that we're choosing. But then the men, same way. It's like we're not here to fix them. They're not here to fix us. You have to fix yourself.
Exactly, men. Don't fix any of these broads. If they're broken and you did not break them, leave them there, broken and left over. It's not your job to fix.
And you know what? Another part of that trauma is like for me, when it comes to me and I'm going and I'm dating these guys, they want to mistreat me. But then when they go to other girls of other cultures, they going above and beyond. And it's like, okay.
At the same time, you can't date a bad boy. Enjoy the sexually enjoy the mistreatment, and then be shocked at the way he carries on with other women. They may not like the same things you like. But yes, I agree, men should not treat other women of a different color different because they think she's a different woman. No. From my perspective, women are women, are women are women. Different backgrounds, different colors, different personalities, to a degree. But women are women, are women. Western women are women, are women, are women. Even Eastern women are women, are women, are women.
So let me just go to the hood nigga, because the hood nigga already gonna go above and beyond when he comes to a girl like me, because he's gonna appreciate what I bring to the table versus a good guy who knows he has all these options.
Exactly, men. Pay attention. You see, deep down, many women know a decent man actually has more options. A road guy can attract a decent amount of women, yeah, but how far can he go? How far can his lack of communication skills take him? Yes, many women may see him as sexual, but how many men respect him outside of the hood?
He's gonna take me for granted. So I'll just go to the hood nigga who gonna, you know what I'm saying, take me on the adventure I deserve.
Exactly, the reckless, trashy adventure she deserves. Loads of reckless sex, but at the end of it, she wants a decent man. Men, leave them there. Have your fun if you want to, but leave them there.
You said something really good there, though, because the good men out there, they think they're God's gift to women, so now they treating everybody bad.
But I don't want to put it on, like, there are some good guys who will take you on wonderful adventures and you won't be crying at the end of it. Like, I think that's like the problem, is that there are good guys that might be a little corny, but they're fun, they're kind. And like, I do feel Sierra did for Russell. She gave him a little swag.
No, she didn't give him swag. She gave him some leftover. You know what? I don't need to say that, to be honest, but yes, admittedly, some dudes can be overly squared to the point of being just squared, where they may not have much depth or dimension to them. However, my point is, if women didn't find them attractive before, why want them when your value is declining? Shong New or is gone.
Like, he's not wearing the Hawaiian shirts anymore.
Jesse, what do the receipts say?
Well, the first question we asked our readers was, the first thought that comes to mind when you think good guy is, 51% said husband.
Yes. oh, these stats are beautiful. Look at how they put this together. Husband in the same category as friend, boring, and sucker.
Seriously, that's trash.
And they let women choose from this. Some would think husband that's a good thing. That's not actually a good thing, to be honest. Not in modern times, to be honest. Because in modern times, that means a sucker. That means the good guy they settle for. Also as well, what's second? Friend. Yeah? You can see this yourself, men. How women view you in seeing you as a good guy to them. Not a guy they want to sleep with and have reckless fun. No, you're this. The husband, the friend, the boring guy, the sucker. Even though they put sucker 1%. Yeah, I think it's more than that, but pay attention, men, pay attention.
41% said friend, 7% said boring, and 1% said sucker.
Damn, who put sucker on
Right,
there?
that's the problem.
That's the but only 1% said sucker now, so that's growth. You know what that is? That's growth right there. But notice how 51% said husband, which goes back to what I was saying earlier. All of us want to settle down. Most of us want to settle down anyway. So even if it is like the boring good guy, like you're still thinking, okay, husband.
Men, are you listening? Are you listening, men? Are you listening? Men, are you listening? I make these points myself.
So even if it is like the boring good guy, like you're still thinking, okay, husband.
I use the women in these videos to make the points themselves.
The boring good guy, like, okay, husband.
They tell you the husband is the boring guy they settle for.
At the end of the day.
I feel like, though, we got to change the conversation. Why does it mean that, like, in the end, like, after I've lived and had all my fun, I'm going to settle down with this corny man? Why can't it be, oh, we want, this good man who's great and fun and nice that treats me well?
Because women have options nowadays. Women can have as much reckless fun and as much trauma bonding sex as they want to have. They have the options to do so. They can go through their garden tool phase, then expect a man to come and want to plant a seed in her salty, just dusty soil, dirty soil. After many, many men have trodden through her garden, now she expects a new man to come along and plant his seed in her salty, just muddy, just soil. Nah.
And like, that's a new experience. It doesn't have to be something that we wait for after we've been drugged through the mud.
True.
And then we,
That's always our experience, though, that I feel.
That's what I feel like you have
Why
to
it gotta
go.
be our experience?
I just feel like you have to go through this life, and sometimes you experience this trauma to know that there is something else out there.
Last question was, which statement do you agree with the most? 81% said good guy or bad boy, men are men. 18% said good guys make better husbands but are no fun and likely whack in bed.
Damn.
You right there. And 1% said good guys are weak and bad boys are strong.
Bullshit.
I think bad boys are damaged.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
First, can we add another option?
I think bad boys are probably damaged and therefore they damage other women.
Exactly. Look at Future.
Yeah.
Many women love the damage. And again, how insulting it is for a man to come and clean up after all that damaged crap.
So let's get into the conversation and look at this article written by Teresa DiDonato for Psychology Today. She states, there has been a long-standing assumption that women who view men as nice guys are viewed as intelligent but less assertive, less sexually experienced, and less attractive. Do you agree, though? Is that how you felt before? Intelligent but less assertive, less sexually experienced, and less attractive? I didn't think less attractive.
No.
Yeah.
Because listen, some of them good guys, they'll surprise you now. They'll pull out that anaconda real quick.
You see, there you go. The point I made a while ago. It's, again, stop being fools for these women. Stop listening to the nonsense. A video I made a while back, women saying because you play video games, you whack in bed. What? Yet, many of these so-called thugs and bad boys, some of them sit around for many hours doing nothing but playing video games. And the same women will say these guys are the best in bed. Like, man, do you see how stupid this is?
Okay, so I don't feel like we should generalize that. But you know, then again, it's been a lot of people's experience that the good guy is kind of whack and whatever, but that's not always the case.
So after all of that good talk and honest answers, ladies, what's our takeaways? What did we learn from this conversation?
My takeaway is simple.
Silence, you fool!
Many of these women become leftover women of their own making, their own past. Many women believe and try like idiots to sell to us as men that their past should not matter. Yet no offense, women, yes it does. It always will matter to any decent, focused, logical man. Because you're a decent man, a good man, does not mean you have to be a clean-up man. Hear, woof woof, as men, yeah. Indeed. In other words, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.
See, and when I do my videos, I always like to put the evidence out there. These are women speaking, black women speaking. But see, the thing that I'll pit with black women, even though they have a rap for having that attitude or masculine behavior, I do feel like they are the most honest women out there. Like, they usually will tell you bluntly how they think and feel. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them, especially those in the inner cities. That's a good thing and a bad thing. That's a good thing because at least you have that honesty. But that's a bad thing because hearing that honesty, you're kind of like, nah, I don't really want to deal with that. So, and even when I was younger, I saw this play out with the dudes that the girls were picking. Now, of course, though, that could have been like their first boyfriends or the first guys that they was picking. And to be honest, those bad guys, not the Chads and Tyrones, but the players, the Pookie and Ray Rays, those guys do aggressively pursue most of those women. But, however, it doesn't seem to turn them off what they're into, if they're in and out of jail, if they're in a gang or something. If anything, that seems to increase your chances to get girls, especially when you are younger, And whereas with guys that may pick like bad girls, and I picked some bad girls in like the past, and you know, I put that on me. Now, the thing is though, I guess while women think that they can change the guy, I do think sometimes I can save her from herself. Which, however, it finally occurred to me that that's a wasted endeavor. You know, if they want to self-destruct, then just let them self-destruct. And I don't have too much more to say on this topic right here, but you know, if you're a good guy, a decent guy, you know, and you are meeting these women, you know, you have that romantic moment with that woman, and you know, she seemed like she totally learned her lesson and her baggage is not too much for you to take, then by all means go ahead and do it. However, you know, if her life is a total disarray and she's reaching for you, I would say go the opposite direction, because what's probably going to happen is she's going to choose you for now, and then when she gets bored, she's going to start messing with those same guys that she claimed that she was tired of. And you know, I have no issue with Ciara, but I know her most famous boyfriends. One was Bow Wow, which, however, though, I never looked at him as really a thug, but I do think he was, you know, he had some Pookie in him. He probably was the nicer, but somewhat maybe passive-aggressive toxic out of the other ones I'm going to mention. And then, of course, she was with 50 Cent, you know, and then she was with Future. And that's something right there, too. Like, Future already had, like, a lot of baby moms. And I'm pretty sure if you met that man, you know, I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy. But if you, as a woman, is going to get into a relationship with him, you know, you're going to be taking on his baggage. But see, as I said, that doesn't seem to matter with females in general. It's just all about if they have money or the bag, you know. But see, guys don't look at it like that, because we don't benefit really from your money. Unless in those rare relationships that the man and woman work side by side and help each other out, you know. I've read about some relationships that are like that, but that's not the norm. It's usually, you know, they start off with that thing of being even, and then when the shit hits the fan, the man is left holding the bag, you know, and the pressure is on him to deal with the financial crisis, even though truthfully it was probably the result of both of them contributing to it, you know. So, and anyway, that's another video. I'm going to save that for my marriage one. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I should have another one coming soon. I had like some personal business, like health stuff I have to deal with right. Anyway, I'll be seeing you guys soon. Thanks. Okay, guys. I'll see you later. Out.
I still wanna run to you. Am I breaking through? Do you feel me too? Pando made it. I still wanna run to you.